Greetings and welcome to Talk to Me America. I'm Laura Goddess, your hostess, brought to you by Here's What I Heard, my channel that you're on right now. Thank you for clicking on my little acre of the internet today. How is everyone? I hope everyone is great. Everybody had a great week. I had a pretty good week myself. This week we're going to be talking about freedom, 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 and what's in the drawers behind me. Of course, last week I gave you a little bit of a taste of what was back there. There's a few goodies that you might not expect. And this is in celebration of my 10th show, and of course, I'm trying real hard to get new equipment. So far, so good. So far, I guess all it's going to take now is to see whether or not I can take phone calls without it crashing. Although, it's been doing pretty well. I made a few tweaks and tweaks there. I'm going to have some I don't want to say someone, Prowler, I think it is, Prowler has donated some memory cards, memory sticks, whatever, to upgrade my CPU if possible. I'm not even real sure. I have to get it and then give it all to my husband. He is the equipment guru. Can everyone hear me okay? Actually, for some reason, when I had that pulled up and I pulled out the chat for Odysee, I couldn't mute it. So I'm not sure. That's what you heard, the copying and all that stuff. So the echo and stuff. So I'm still learning about this stuff. To be honest with you, I'd rather have the whole thing up there so I can see it. But it looks like Odysee has changed it. I can't just view a little piece of it and then watch the chat. So constantly changing. And of course, you know what they say about that. The more things change, the more they stay the same. So, once again, I started my very first show out reading the First Amendment. And of course, that's what my show is all about, as you know. The freedom of speech, that's what it is. Talk to me, America. Call me and tell them like it is. Not everybody can be a creator. I'm barely one at the moment until I get some upgrades. I appreciate any help with that, of course. I know that there's tons and tons of causes out there. I can appreciate that. Anyway, I started out by reading the First Amendment. That was how you caught me on my first show. And of course, I'm going to read it again. Because I'm seeing some things that aren't cool. And I'll explain that to you. And hopefully, we can have a conversation about that. And you'll call me, because that's what this is about. Trying to thwart this evilness. But the First Amendment says, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. So, this, around February 7th, this turns up. Somebody tweeted this. This is from the Department of Homeland Security directly. In fact, I can even put the link in the chats and all of that if you'd like for me to. Gotta move it over here. All right. Still getting used to all of this stuff. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to read this to you. They've made, as of February the 7th, 2022, at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, National Terrorism Advisory System Bulletin from the DHS. Summary of terrorism threat to the United States homeland. The United States remains in a heightened threat environment fueled by several factors, including an online environment filled with false or misleading narratives and conspiracy theories, and other forms of mis, dis, and mal information. MDM, they've named it MDM now. Introduced and or amplified by foreign and domestic threat actors. These threat actors seek to exacerbate societal friction, to sow discord, and undermine public trust in government institutions, to encourage unrest, which could potentially inspire acts of violence. Now, if you've seen any of my videos, you know how I feel about words like could or potentially. And of course, they double whammied us with that here. Wait till you hear the rest of this, though, okay? Like I say, my arm could fall off right now. But they even admit this. Mass casualty attacks and other acts of targeted violence conducted by lone offenders and small groups acting in furtherance of ideological beliefs and or personal grievances pose an ongoing threat to the nation. One guy or a few people to the entire nation. Actually, I'm beginning to wonder if Maxine Waters wrote this. While the conditions underlying the heightened threat landscape have not significantly changed over the last year, so no heightened. They're claiming that this is happening, but it hasn't heightened in the last year. But they're going to do this anyway. Again, did Maxine Waters write this? The convergence of the following factors has increased the volatility, unpredictability, and complexity of the threat environment. But it's unpredictable, but they're predicting this anyway. That's your government for you. Number 1, the proliferation of false or misleading narratives, which sow discord or undermine public trust in United States government institutions. First Amendment, right there. But this isn't Congress, so it's okay for the DHS to make this rule, as long as it's not Congress. I say any governmental, in any way. All right, who do we got over here already? Rougarou! Nice to see you. Someone from the old place where we used to live until 2 years after Katrina. Blue! Pastor Shadley, thank you and welcome. Thank you for the, what do they call them here? Is that Snapchat? Or no, not Snapchat. 451 Actual, my metal man. Welcome, welcome everybody here. That's all my Odysee people. I see Chevy on YouTube. He writes, COP law, Marietta, Georgia police, January 22nd, illegally detain in handcuffs, Tater Tot, ATL, audits over 15 minutes on public easement over a 9/11 call, but by butthurt tenant afraid of camera. Is there a link for that? I'd like to see that. Anyway, I'm going to finish this thing coming from the terrorism threat that now is essentially naming people like me and Salty and 451 Actual, and because this is worded so ambiguously, they can pretty much just point their finger and say whatever you said there was false. They don't have to have any proof. There's no what do they call it? Due process. 2, continued calls for violence directed at U.S. critical infrastructure, soft targets, and mass gatherings, tongue twister. Faith-based institutions such as churches, synagogues, and mosques, institutions of higher education, racial and religious minorities, government facilities and personnel, including law enforcement and the military, the media, and perceived ideological opponents. I haven't heard anybody on our side call for violence. In fact, we're always saying no. No violence. But if you mess with us, we're going to take you to court, or we're going to let people know that you're not the best of people. That's our right. That's the First Amendment. 3, calls by foreign terrorist organizations for attacks on the United States based on recent events. which could, again, mean anything. That is so ambiguous. Recent events. Now, I'm looking at this, and you go down a little bit further, because, like I say, I found this originally on a tweet. Again, I'm not on Twitter, but you don't have to be a member of Twitter to know what's on Twitter. It's where I find a lot of this stuff. But the duration of this, they're holding us responsible, or claiming that people are going to be terrorists if they speak a mistruth online, of course, or anywhere, I guess, for that matter. But the duration, they initialed it on February the 7th, 2022, and it expires June 7th, 2022 at 2 p.m. Something fixing to happen then? Maybe, perhaps, because to me, this should count if it's actually constitutional, which it is not. I just read you the First Amendment. This should count for both sides, though. Does this include Antifa? Does this include BLM? Does this include any of these other people that are burning shit down and stabbing people and doing all of this stuff in the name of their particular ideals? So, yeah. Again, another way to tell you, shut up or else. And like I say, it doesn't, well, like I say, if in fact, and I think Dave Chappelle said this the best, the First Amendment is the first one for a reason. Because that's the way that you get through things and figure things out and be able to live together and figure out how to live together and be a united and free country. The Second Amendment is there in case the first one doesn't work. Now, I'm not saying I would never, ever do that. I don't want it to come to that. However, you have people in Washington that are claiming that that is what we want. And to be honest with you, a majority of us have been through war or been to war or have studied it enough to know it's not something you want. It's not something that you wish for. It hurts lots and lots and lots and lots of innocent people most of the time. And it causes way more than inconveniences. And I'm talking serious shit here. You can't get medical stuff. You can't get, you pretty much, ask anybody that's been through it if they'll talk about it. That's how bad it is. Where do you think they come up with the PTSD? Where do you think they come up with the shell shock? That stuff's horrendous. It's horrific. These people witness this stuff and it blows their mind. The cruelty, the carnage, the damage. Especially after enjoying such beautiful landscapes and buildings and creativity and everything like that. And just within seconds, somebody can come in with bombs and guns and flatten it. So I don't like this. Again, this is one of the reasons why, and even more so now, that we need to keep speaking up. We're not into the violence, but we're not going to be stepped on either. I don't appreciate being called some of the things that I'm called, and some of the things that my friends are called, and some of the things that happen to some of my friends, because someone else has put an idea in their head that I'm out to get somebody. I'm walking down the street minding my own business. Do I look like I'm out to get somebody? That would be you, my friend. Let's see, who do we got on here? Who's talking? Blue! Somebody give that lady a cough drop. She's in there coughing. Goodness gracious. I know what y'all are doing. Prowler, thank you again. I haven't received the memory sticks yet, but I will let you know when I do. Truth, Sanity 1, welcome. Thank you for coming. It's not a law, just a statement, but dangerous one. Well, like I say, the Department of Homeland Security actually, and if you think about it, pretty much have free reign of anything. They don't have to go through Congress. They don't have to go through any kind of checks or balances or anything like that, do they? IP Cyborg, thank you, sir. Welcome, welcome. Let's see. I have nobody on I have absolutely nobody on YouTube at the moment. I guess that's not a bad thing. Put it this way, stuff like this, I keep track of stuff like this just like everybody else does. That tells me where I need to be and where I need to go. If YouTube's not going to service me, or I'm not going to get a whole lot of people on YouTube, YouTube's going to go pretty soon. It's not like they're going to be losing anybody. They've pretty much suppressed me from what I can tell. I don't get any kind of following or anything like that organically at all. But I know why. I know why. And of course, I had somebody say that Salty got a badge of honor today by having to click through some kind of they warn you about the age group or whatever it is like that. That's actually happened to me twice, and I actually expect it to happen to me on this next video too. So yay, I'm up there with Salty. Where you have to click through it. It says, oh, this might be for some audiences or not audiences and thing like that. YouTube is asshole. You aren't missing anything. Folks should be leaving YouTube in drove. I'm pretty sure that every time that they get rid of Steven Crowder, that happens. Joe Rogan moved. I'm pretty sure that was a nice dent in their followers or whatever like that. Especially now. Which is pretty funny, actually. You would think that YouTube would have actually been the one to have tried to silence him about that particular word. Personally, I don't like that word. I've heard it used. My older generation, most of whom are not around anymore, used to use it. It's not descriptive. Although I watched an argument today where they're actually trying to turn the word racism around. It's like, hey man, it's just a description. It's not an insult. Yes, it is very insulting. And the thing about it is, if you're describing me that way without even knowing me, I'm sorry. And, that would be like saying that word is just a description. It's not an insult. Yeah, it's actually an insult. And the thing about it is it's a dangerous one. It's a very dangerous one, especially around some of these groups. You point that finger. And that's why this particular summary terrorism thing right here is dangerous as well. And it's dangerous on both sides, actually. So I hope it's going to apply to both sides as far as this goes. And if not, then yeah. And of course, it goes against the First Amendment anyway. So that's my ticket. You don't like what I have to say? Change the fucking channel. Because I really don't care if you don't like me. I don't care if you don't like what I have to say. I have the right to say it just like you have the right to say it. I'd fight for your right to say it. That's the difference between me and people that would have me silenced or have you silenced or have any of these people silenced. And actually, I got to be honest with you, I'm noticing more and more and more and more people. They try to call us the fringe. Nah. The fringe actually now, if you really look at it, you think about it, is the people in office. There's only a few of them compared to the thousands and thousands and almost now, well, millions as well. When it comes to Joe Rogan and people like that, the millions and millions of people now that are actually supporting the Freedom Acts that we're seeing around here from the grassroots. So that's another reminder to support our truckers, because this is what's happening to them at the moment. Somebody showed me somebody posted one of his other, this is a meme, but it's not. It's meme based on what's actually going on. firewood from the truckers. These are cops. These are oath breakers. Yeah, I figured that the war crimes threat wouldn't do anything when it came to this.
Is bullshit.
Yeah, I agree. That's John Talks on YouTube of all things. All right. Yeah, well, actually, Blue, to them, yeah, we are all racist bigots, but I don't accept that. You don't get to tell me. Nobody gets to tell you what you are. That's the whole point of the freedom in the country and all of that. Nobody gets to tell you who you are. In fact, if they do have a situation, and this is something that really blows my mind. They've tried to reverse this kind of thing too. Usually when you have somebody out there that is being that way, calling names, being unruly, being rude, absolutely entitlement sounding and everything like that, you look at them, they're the problem. That reflects on them, not you. They can call you anything in the world. That doesn't make it true. You know, and in other words, it's like, who are you? Who are you? Did all of a sudden somebody touch you and appoint you to be whatever it is, police? Yeah, get the hell out of my face. Blue, yeah, yeah, that's me. That's me too. It's not an act. It's not an act. I'm just as fine without you as I was with you. In fact, if you're giving me a hard time, I'm even better off without you. Now, of course, here is 420 Bro. Welcome. Thank you for coming. Red Dawn Radio. Welcome, welcome. Make sure to go and check him out. Aren't you live now? Fixing to go live now. That's what he's coming here to take my customers. Not really. Actually, dude, call me, man. Let's do live together. Everybody actually needs to be talking about this because, again, this is another way that they're slipping it in there, the little cracks into taking away our rights, zipping our mouths, while trying to mandate that we do what they want us to do. The lockdowns and all that other stuff was enough. It was enough. In fact, you got I didn't save any of them, but I see so many of these things and so many people talk about how, our children have been affected by this. And I gotta be honest with you, anytime I go into a place and somebody has a mask on, you just don't realize how much you depend on the facial expressions to know what someone's actually talking to you about, even if they're taking your order. And to me, I guess it's being 25 years in front of a wall of sound. Everything else, everything that's not, I'm not able to see with my own eyes. It's like, what? I literally ask people to take their mask down and tell me what they're going to tell me. I can't hear them otherwise. So I'm trying not to let it get me down because, like I say, we can do whatever we want here so far on the internet. No, that's Loyal. Oh, okay. Loyal 9 is on now. I'm sorry. I follow and listen to so many of you guys now. I have trouble keeping up with it. I have trouble keeping up with my own times. I can hear them and I say they have to take off that muzzle. Yeah, I literally can't hear these people. And it's been going like this for 2 years. And I tell them, look, I'm not afraid of you. Because I've had it. I actually have had coof. And even with my heart condition, I survived. Actually, the person that it affected most was my husband. But he's better now too. We're both back to work. Everything's fine. So far. I'm not real sure what people mean by long COVID. I guess I'll have to do some research on that because I've had people ask me that, but I don't know what it means. What's long COVID? I mean, it pretty much sounds like one of those things like the common cold. And actually even cancer. You know, your body actually has these cells and things in them. That's the reason why there's no cure for the common cold, because everybody has their own. And a lot of times in the winter months, you know, you don't get the sun as much. It's colder. Your immune system is trying to help you build more blood cells and everything like that while you're cold and everything. So yeah, I understand why people get head colds and have sinuses and all that, coughs and all that. Oh, poor Truth. He says, sometimes I see a good-looking lady in the parking lot and then they mask up to enter the store and I go limp. Dude, that might not be something you want to be admitting to people. Not out loud, anyway. Rougarou. I'm actually so glad to see you guys. Red Dawn Radio, thank you so much for being here. It's an honor to have you guys here. And, of course, you can call me in at any time. The main thing I wanted to cover tonight was the freedom of speech that is being choked out of us, which is actually the main meaning of my show. And, of course, I promised everyone, since this is my 10th show, oh my God, I can't believe I'm doing my 10th show. I actually was, when I first started this, of course, if you look back at my first work, I was actually doing videos on this very old JVC. Sometimes I still use it if I do on location or outside work. Hey, man. All my money and shit used to go into music and stuff. So yeah, I had to do with, I'm having to build just like everybody in America has. But I was doubtful. I was like, man, am I going to even be able to do this? Because, you know, I'm watching all these people making all kinds of money off it. Like, man, they got to have something I don't. And I thought, well, let me figure out what they don't have that I can do. And this is what I thought of. So please, make sure you give us a jingle jangle. Is that working down there? Yeah, okay. Making sure everything's working. Last week I had nothing but crashy. Everything was crashing, so far so good. I know you guys probably are like holding off on calling me because it might crash, but hey man, I came back every time, and we gotta go through the drawers back here. So while I'm waiting for a phone call, in celebration of my 10th show, I'm so proud of myself. I'm I tried also to connect some of these things with some of the stuff that we've been hearing and some of the stuff that they've been trying to push on us too. One of the things that I keep hearing, and this is my statement, I don't care, you can hold the gun to my head, I don't care how you fix them. I don't care how you talk them up. I don't care how much protein they are. I am not eating bugs. But I do this with them. I'll entomb them in plastic any old day. Now this is a big one right here. This is about, let's see. And of course this is as a cicada. I want all of you people out there to know that I don't kill these things. In fact, most of the time all I have to do is sit on my porch and wait. They come up and die. Sometimes I'll pull them out of somebody's grill in a truck or something like that. But I don't kill anything. I never would. If you can tell, this is a huge cicada. From about 2 years ago, I think. And of course, what I'm doing, this is a paperweight. You can actually use it to instruct kids. Kids love these things. In fact, I get goth people that actually have ordered these for their boyfriend or girlfriend for gifts. This is the largest one. And of course, if anybody wants to call me and tell me that they'll donate some money to me, I'll send this out to you. Just give me your address. I'll make sure this gets sent out to you. The shipping will be included. This is actually rather big one. So I'd take 25 for it. I was actually selling it online for 55. People were buying them. So, but I'm also trying to raise money so that I can make this stream better for you guys too. So, let me show you the rest of them. This is one of my favorites. I'm not exactly sure what it is. I was raking the leaves one day, and all of a sudden this gorgeous thing just popped out. And I was like, wow, that's wonderful. And I couldn't tell, but I kept poking at it and it was not alive. So I guess it's one of those things where they lay their eggs. Okay, again, a lot of people used to buy these just because they love the bugs. They love entomology. I used to have teachers that would buy these from me also as well. This one was also 55, but I'll let it go for 25, and that includes your shipping. Happy 10th show. I have smaller ones. Yeah, this is what I do with bugs, but I don't kill them. You have to kill them to eat them too, so. Not exactly sure what this is. My husband calls it a clip clop. Evidently, it's one of those things where it lands on the floor or something like that. And as it's dying, it flips itself around and it makes this tick sound, this ticking sound. I get them in the house every once in a while. And like I say, I heard it, but I couldn't find it until I found it dead. It's pretty cool. I'm not sure what those are called. My husband calls them tick-tocks or click-clocks or whatever. Here is a horsefly. Giant horsefly. This sucker, I was amazed. This sucker here, I was sitting down on the front porch having my coffee. All of a sudden I hear this smack against the wall behind me. He's laying there, he goes, bzz, 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 and that was it. So I was like, oh, you're beautiful. Let me draw you out. And it's almost sometimes like these things sacrifice themselves for me. That was a trip one. And of course, I know lots of people don't like these. I'm not sure. One of my nephews got this one for me. They found out that I entombed bugs. They thought that was the most amazing thing in the world, so they started catching them for me. I told them not to kill them, but then again, you know how well kids listen. But this one here is one of my favorites. And like I say, these are decorations. I can turn them into keychains if you want. I'll even do that part for free. The smaller ones I'll take 15 for. And that'll include shipping. There's a huntsman spider that they got me. My nephews. Like I say, they heard that I was entombing bugs in plastic, and they just thought that was the greatest thing in the world. So they started catching bugs for me. In fact, I have a freezer full of them at the moment. Here's a spider. In fact, you can tell I couldn't stretch him out. He was dead when I found him. But he's got some neat colors. He's orange and black and yellow. This is what I do with bugs. Like I say, if anybody wants to donate, this is why I say I'm trying to raise money for my upgrades and my updates. So this live feed will be, I think this is some kind of a wasp or something. I got him because he's got a blue sheen to him. I don't know if you can see him. But also too, like I say, he's dead. But I think he might be dead. You can I don't know if you can actually see it, but according to this, his stinger is out. As I found him on the porch because of the beautiful blue sheen he had on the top of him. But then when I picked him up, it's like, oh man, I better watch out for that because he's got a stinger sticking out. So that's what I do with bugs. I'm never going to eat one. Of course, you know, they already have some bug parts. Now, let me know if you want to see any of those again. That's in one of those drawers. See any kind of do. Yeah, keep your spiders. That's okay. Hey, Those kind of spiders are the safest ones. You know they'll always be in there. They're not going anywhere. They're not going to touch you. Black widow female would be cool. Actually, I'm sold out of those. Those actually, every time the minute I would put one on, it was gone. So if I find another one, I'll try. Die all flies. Yes, I agree. In fact, it was, what do they taste like? I'll never know. I won't be able to tell you because I'm not going to know. 1.5 speed. Did that make my voice go wonky? Haha. Gary is insane on guitar. Oh, you guys are watching something else. All right. Well, WARP, how are you? Thanks for dropping by. Call in, guys. Don't be shy. I'm not worried about this. Like I say, the main purpose is to try and get me to upgrade this stuff and get this stuff upgraded so that it'll be better for you guys. Now, I gave you a sneak peek of one of the things that I have in the drawers behind me. We're celebrating my 10th show. Like I say, I'm so proud of myself. I started out with that stupid camera over there and was like, ain't nobody gonna listen to this old rocker bitch. But I love my acrylics. I'm actually totally giving up on the recycle art, which I'll show you some of that later. But I'm still going to do acrylics when I get an opportunity. Or if somebody wants a custom order. Now, these are 15. If you guys want to send me 15 bucks and your address, I'll send you these. And also, too, I'll send you another goodie as well. Here's one. These actually, I molded myself. I found a really cool candle that was on clearance from Halloween a couple years ago. And I thought, wow. So I molded it and I reproduced it. And I can, like, again, I can make anything into the keychains, or if you want to hang it on the wall or something like that. Like I say, I'll take 15 for these if you guys want to donate to my cause. Put it this way, I'm not begging for money. I'm actually offering something in return for money that will actually help me, A, liquidate my last business, and B, build this one. And it's all for you guys. I should have tip explosions. Well, can you sew them into my underwear? I'll leave that to your significant other or yourself. Thank you very much. Let's see, what was it? Oh, was that you asking me? You were asking me, can I do farts? I don't think I want to end up in the hospital like the lady did that actually was making money off of that. In fact, it was kind of poetic justice in a way, because she made all that money and she's going to have to spend it on hospital bills now. So I guess it worked out for her, but yeah, I'd rather not. I've got enough hospital bills. Thank you very much. Not to mention the fact that I have a little bit more respect for myself than that, and you guys too. Trust me. Do you just do audio calls or do you want video calls? Actually, just audio for now. Like I say, that's actually one of the reasons why I'm actually trying to have this raffle. I need improvements. Putting any more video up here and anything like that actually would crash it. I only have, according to what I've been told and according to my diagnostics, my video card is actually what's causing a lot of the crashes that I'm having. Not on OBS, that's their deal, and I fixed that, or supposedly fixed that. But yeah, my video card is only 2 gigs, so that's probably why there's a lot of like delay and stuff like that on the feeds too. But I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up. Hello, Hallie. YouTube's finally picking up a little bit. Chevy says, cop law. Monsters. Michael Ortiz now paralyzed and requires round-the-clock care due to a 2021 police shooting mistaking his gun for a taser by Hollywood, Florida Police Department. Oh, man. That sucks. That really sucks. Dude, give me some links. I'll be glad to share them. And actually, I love to cover that stuff. If you guys going to give me something to talk about, yes, give me a link so I can pull it up and we can talk about it. New Patriots, thanks for being here. Hey, man, mention us over there. Prowler of Night, Karma. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. In fact, you guys saw that video of that comedian. Damn. Ouchie. Oh, that shit hurt me. And of course, everybody thought it was part of the show. But that's actually the hazards, some of the hazards of comedians. Because, one of the things about comedians, and it's supposed to be that way, is you never know what's going to come out of their mouth. And you never know if they're going to do something erratic or that you didn't expect or anything like that. Pastor Chatelet, welcome. Thank you for being here. There's a new mouthy Buddha that is worth watching. Okay. That's another thing you guys can do when you come up here. All right, let me know if you want to see the skulls again. So I'm hoping that this is more interesting than you guys thought, or as interesting as you guys thought it would be. Like I say, this was my inventory pretty much for when I made stuff. These are good for if you have a young lady or, well, whatever, man. It doesn't matter anymore. Somebody you want to get a cool, handmade, cool gift for. All right, I got a phone call. Let me pick that up here. Turn up the speakers. You are on the air.
Hey, so the number works, eh?
It does. Oh, what, did you think it didn't? You didn't think it was going to?
Well, I had to test it. So his name's Jared. If you're on Odysee, you see me as American Music. It's also like that on YouTube and everywhere. But
oh, Jared the rocker. All right. Yeah, your music rocks, man.
No, I appreciate that. So I saw a cicada as soon as I logged in, and I was like, well, that is some Texas shit right there. I'm going to guess that you're from somewhere around Texas if you got those things laying around.
Oh, yeah, I'm in Texas.
Okay.
My name is Laura, and
I have no idea what I'm going to talk about. Yeah, I have no idea what I'm going to talk about. I just wanted to call in to say hi.
Well, hi. Welcome. And please make sure that you leave your link in my chat so that people can go check out your awesome music.
Okay, I can do that. And YouTube. Are you saying on YouTube as well, not just Odysee?
I am. I'm on both YouTube and Odysee. In fact, I'm barely squeaking those two. I would do more, but like I say, I'm trying to get updates. Like I say, according to my diagnostics, I've only got two jigs in my video card, and I'm supposed to need at least 8. So that's one of the reasons why I had so many crashes and have so many crashes. Although everything's going real well right now. So, but if it goes away, stick with me. I'll be back.
Oh yeah, I'll stick around. Man, if you're listening to this right now and you're not on Odysee, I'd highly suggest getting over there. It's fantastic.
Indeed. Yes, you don't run the risk of being censored or NSFW and all that other stuff by someone else. And like I say, I really didn't realize that was a badge of honor, but I've had 2 of those actually.
What, you've had 2 of those things happen to you already?
What's that?
Did you say you've had some of those things happen to you already?
Yeah. Well, they took off my heart problems, which is actually an exclusive on all the alts right now. And they also, of course, that was for medical misinformation, which I was talking about myself. And I had literally posted like 50 articles about these athletes that are just plopping in the fields,
Look, that is purely coincidental. All these heart problems have nothing to do with anything. I don't know why you would think something crazy like that. You might be a terrorist. I'm just saying.
Exactly. Well, that's why I say that the freedom of speech, that's one of the reasons why I was actually, I guess you could say, called to do this. I felt called to do this. I didn't feel like I could do anything else. I was laying in a bed, recuperating and
wow.
in the middle of a lockdown. So it's like, man, only thing I could do was watch videos and stuff. So I started seeing all this stuff happen, and I thought, wow. And then they started taking people off and censoring people. In fact, I started having to watch just about the time they censored Alex Jones, and I thought, uh-oh.
Whoa, interesting. So you got called to start doing this show during all that?
I felt him impelled to do it, or you know, I felt like it became a calling. It's like, what can I do? What can I do? So that's why I've been working on this and trying to get this out. And I realized also too that a lot of these people were becoming really, really popular and all of that, and they're all getting to say what they want to say, but they never take phone calls. In fact, I was watching Alex Jones one day, and he says, oh, call in, but he never takes a phone call. He never takes a phone call. And when he does, he lets them say maybe 2 sentences, and then, oh, I promise the phone calls, but I got to cover this. I promise. It's like, holy shit, I can do this. And I'm going to actually take phone calls, because I wasn't seeing enough of the GP getting their voices out there. And I know that not everybody can do the creative thing in this way, live stream and stuff like that, but everybody can make a phone call.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it's funny. I have a hard time doing live streaming as well. I mean, I've got stuff. I have a Twitch channel and all this stuff going on, and I've done it, but I run out of stuff to say, and I just start staring at the screen and getting lost in my head. So it's hard if I'm doing it by myself. But if I have someone to interact with, then it goes much better.
Oh yeah, I'm
glad to hear that you started to do something. Oh, sorry. I'm glad to hear that you started to do this because you were inspired to do so.
Oh yeah.
Because of the current events. Like, I'm sad the current events are inspiring people to do it, but I'm glad people are using it and doing something with it. It's the whole reason we started releasing the music when we did. Like the group, it's just 3 of us. It's me and 2 brothers, but we all started playing guitar together when we were like 13, and we've had America Inc. like in the back of our heads for 20 years now.
Wow.
And like even during like, I'm talking like, oh yeah, so this is pre-Obama, like during Bush era, during the Patriot Act stuff is when we really started getting upset about things and talking about basically all the New World Order stuff that's normal to talk about now. All the stuff like that would be considered conspiracy theory has all come true, but we were considered crazy back then. But we didn't release any music. We didn't really know how to do it, none of that stuff. But we got too fed up, and there was actually, I can't remember who it was, but there was a video on Alex Jones as well, where I saw that somebody was saying, like, look, you got to follow God's calling. Like, if you have talents, that's God telling you to do something with that. Don't just sit back and rest on your laurels. Use your talents and get your message out there. And I was like, well, like you, I was like, I kind of want to do something, but I don't think I can do videos and all that. I have a gaming channel, and I did all that. It's Razor Tree Productions on YouTube and Odysee, but it's not getting a message out or anything. It's like, you know, here, look at me play with these plastic models. I'm almost 40 and playing with toys.
I'm
Don't
still.
judge me. But,
it might just be my age,
but, anyway,
but I'm still flabbergasted at people that not only watch other people play video games, but pay them to. It blows my mind.
Mean, it's something.
That blows my mind, and it's like it tells me that. Well, first of all, when I was that age, I never had that kind of money.
Yeah, well, that's why I didn't play with it at that age, because I didn't have that kind of money either. I can finally afford it.
Dang.
Well, I mean, I could pre-Bidenomics, but
yeah, and of course, if my parents ever caught me using a credit card or doing something like that, oh, I wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it's not something we would even think of, and it still blows my mind. So, but I figure if they can do that, I can do this. This is at least for a good cause, and if it opens one person's eyes to the fact that there's more of us than there are of them, and we need to not let them do what they're doing, then let's do it. Not to mention the fact, get your voices out there. This is the main thing. I'm trying, I guess you could say I'm a rebel in some aspects, because you see what they're trying to do to us and have been trying to do to us. And of course, the first things to take away from us that actually would accomplish that are from the First and the Second Amendment. As a musician myself, and always have been, had a muse of most musicians that were always for freedoms and America and all that. In fact, speaking of that, you know, the Neil Young thing and all of these Canadian people that came down here and made their way and got rich and famous and everything, like now they're trying to stop everybody else from doing it. It's like, no. No, you don't.
I got mine. Now everybody else be quiet.
Yeah, that's exactly what I hear when I hear a lot of this stuff, you know. But I also know about show business enough to know that the main rule, especially when it comes to the fame and fortune and stuff like that, is that no publicity is bad publicity, and no publicity is bad publicity.
Yeah.
It works both ways. If you have no publicity at all, that's bad. But if you have all kinds of different publicity, even if it's bad, it's good. That's what it's all about. I do. How do you feel about a tip bomb? I don't know if I want to put an explosion over my face when somebody tips me. Maybe I'll do a bell or something. I'll think of something uniquely me. And whenever someone gives me a tip, thank you, MBB. I appreciate it for the 1776, the coins there. So yeah, tell everybody where to find you.
For the music, it's America Inc. Music on Odysee, on YouTube. There's a social media website called Minds, MINDS, on there as well. Gab. If you just look for America Inc. Music in all those places, you'll find it. And if you're into gaming, like war gaming and stuff like that, you can go to Razor Tree Productions, also on YouTube, Odysee, Minds.
You said Razor Tree?
Twitter, and all the. Yeah, I'll put it in the Odysee chat.
Yes.
And, I'll go find your YouTube and put it in there.
Okay.
I'll put all that stuff in there.
All right. It's the YouTube is here's what I heard. Just like here.
Okay. Oh, I see. Okay. That's what you said. For some reason, like you're asking, no, you're telling me your YouTube name. I'm smart.
You're smart.
Well, hey, thanks for letting me call in. I really enjoyed this.
Well, thank you for calling. I appreciate it. And like I say, that's what this show is all about: getting people to call in, and even if it's just to advertise what you're doing, if it's something patriotic like this. And like I say, I've heard your music. 451 Actual plays you on his radio shows on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, which actually I'm excited. He says he's going to go every day now. I'm very happy about that.
Oh, really?
I miss him terribly on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah, that makes my work week a little better.
Yeah, well, he's actually,
right, well,
it seems like everybody's having the same problem. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm going to get off of here and let somebody else call, but I'll keep lurking in chat and hear what you have to say.
Oh, yes. I appreciate you calling. And please, everybody go check out his music. These guys really do rock, and they're patriot rock. If you're metal, right? Seems like metal to me.
Yes, it is.
I was headbanging to it.
It is. Yeah, we got more stuff coming out soon. We're recording it this weekend.
Okay, great. Freedom of speech. Rock on, brother. And thanks for calling.
Rock on. Talk to y'all later.
Good night. All right, the number to call, 409-877-1243. The world wants to know what you have to say, so call me and tell them like it is. Meanwhile, I'll let you know this. I was just taking some stuff out of the drawer. Like again, this is my 10th show. I'm so proud of myself. Let me fix this. Turn the speakers down so that it doesn't blast you guys when it rings again. All right. Once again, thank you, MBB, for the, what do they call that? Coins. Let's see. Do you just do, yeah, I just do audio. For now, I just do audio calls. Sorry about that. All right. If you guys got anybody that you need to buy gifts for, now this, I actually was able to combine the recycle art and the acrylics. I made pendants, or if they're too big for pendants for people, you can actually use them as sun catchers or fan poles. But these are just bits and pieces of different little pieces of jewelry and everything like that embedded into the plastic, into the resin, 2-part epoxy resin. It's got some cool little butterflies and just some antique little doodads. This one here is one of my favorites. What a statement piece that is. you see it? All right. If you can't get through, keep calling. Somebody actually called at the same time that America Inc. called in. Yeah, make sure you go and see American Inc. music. Make sure you go and check them out. Like I say, if you're into metal, you like headbanging, I think their music is awesome, and it's a really good message for the freedom of speech and the freedoms that we are losing here in America at the moment. I got all kinds of stuff in here. Know anybody that's still into rhinestones? Again, bits and pieces. This is my recycle art. These are pendants. I'm not sure if you can see them all. Oh, here comes another phone call. But we're showing everybody what's in the draw for my 10th show. Oh my God, I'm still amazed 10 times. And all the trouble I've gone through and everything. You're on the air.
Hi. Again, I'm at work as usual, Hallie. I just wanted to comment about the attempts to make yourself heard on social media. This is a little funny. I've been flamed numerous times on Twitter. I guess you need an extra skin to deal. Somebody posted actually, but ironically, it was from libs of TikTok.
Twitter is a cesspool.
Libs,
it always has been.
Yeah. Well, what happened was they posted some weirdo girl as usual, I don't know, binary, whatever. And so somebody wrote, a bunch of people wrote, another person with father issues. And I wrote, what was the mother like? Sometimes I've wondered about these women. Unfortunately, I'm seeing a lot of it. These women, maybe damaged by eccentric mothers. So, I know there's no perfect parent, but I'm just saying that, somebody turned out that extreme. I just said I wondered what the mother was like. And so, oh man, did I get a bunch of flames? It's not always the parents' fault. Well, you were saying it's the father issues. So I was, I've learned to just kind of ignore. I don't know if it's worth it to go on a whole tit for tat, basically, is what sort of Twitter is about. I don't know if that's been your experience or impression of Twitter.
I don't do Twitter. I have never been. In fact, I think I've told this story before. Real quick though, when Twitter first came out, I was on it because I was doing the Etsy and I was trying to advertise myself and everything like that. And I got banned off of Twitter almost immediately because I asked for too many friends. So this was a social media, but I got banned for being social. So it's like, you know what? Nope. Never went back.
That's interesting. What do you use then as a substitute for Twitter? I mean, there are others like, I guess I'm just maybe a creature of habit. I'm used to Twitter, just like I'm used to YouTube. I need YouTube for other things besides, the alternate,
well, for the most part,
views.
For the most part, I'm on Gab. I'm on Facebook, but I actually let Rumble handle all the Facebook stuff. I don't hardly ever check that one. Every once in a while, I'll get a letter.
Rumble,
I'll get a letter
from
a copyright. What's that?
No, I'm sorry to interrupt. Are you finding Rumble superior to these others? I get Rumble also, but again, maybe it's a creature of habit that I am. I'm so used to YouTube. I subscribe to YouTube because I need it for other things, like everybody. Obviously my music, whatever, my professional videos. So it's hard not to subscribe to YouTube. But as far as these alternate channels like you, do you find Rumble do you use Rumble more, or do you prefer? I don't know.
Actually, Rumble at the moment,
maybe it'll be like.
Yeah, Rumble at the moment is my backup channel because I can't afford to pay for their fees and stuff like that right now. Because it costs. You have to have at least a $25 a month or more subscription with them in order to go live.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
So my go-to actually is Odysee. I'm sorry?
Odyssey.
Yeah, my
Odyssey,
go-to
I'll
is
keep that in
Odyssey.
mind.
They're
Yeah, I'll check that out. I usually have to be, yeah. I always have to be dragged kicking and screaming into these new web pages and stuff. A friend of mine always keeps me apprised. But if you're saying Odyssey,
yeah.
well,
So far,
maybe
so
I'll
far,
check it out. Yeah,
Odyssey.
Rumble's way,
Yeah, so far now Odyssey is growing, and all of that, and occasionally they'll have a problem or two, but they are getting better and better. A lot more people are going to them because actually they do not censor. Rumble actually censors. Now, of course, they'll censor somebody for being, what they call hate speech if somebody uses the N word or if somebody threatens death or something. The typical TOS. But they don't take off anybody for talking about the medical stuff or the vax or anything that's actually going on I've seen people lie on there too. The thing about that is there's going to be all kinds of people that are going to tell you all kinds of stories. You have to be the one to determine whether or not you want to believe it or not. It shouldn't be up to anybody else. Especially not our government.
I think Rumble must be doing. Yeah, no, please, no, it's because please, I'm going to get to that in a minute. I just want to say that Rumble, I think they must be doing very well. Did they offer to buy out Joe Rogan or offer him a spot? I mean, they could out Spotify in terms of pricing and all that. I guess they're doing pretty well.
Yeah, Rumble is actually doing very well. In fact, so well they're fixing to go public. So they're gonna be on the stock market.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. What's that? What was? I don't know. I'm sort of indifferent. I listen to Joe Rogan. He has a right to. My feeling, I'm indifferent about anything he said in the past. Or his right to his opinions, whatever. I just didn't know what was resolved in it. I mean, is he still on Spotify? Is he still?
Oh yeah, Spotify stood behind him.
Don't know.
They stood behind him. They said they're not going to get rid of him, but they did actually delete like 37 or 38 of his shows, most of which had the word in it that they put that montage together with.
Well, that was, I mean, I know something that, long ago, there's, I heard there's this like millennial that's sort of running for office. I think he's here in New York, and she tried to delete all her, she was like roaring SJW, and then she tried to delete all her LinkedIn posts and stuff like that. It's really a demonic generation. I mean, they're trying to cover their own, and then meanwhile dox everybody else. So I was just kind of wondering, I don't see how it's really necessary. There's a different era. I don't know. It's this horrible double standard. I was going to say on the subject of censorship, I listened to Carolyn Borsenko, and I like her a lot, but I know she was critical of the whole idea. Excuse me a second. I work in a library here, so I have to. I'm going to be shushing you while I'm talking. The thing is, Bye-bye. Bye, ladies. We'll see you later. Bye-bye. Good job. Yeah. I was going to say the subject of chip, and I'm wondering if, some conservative communities are banning books, but I don't know your opinion. I don't think that's the same as censorship.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Since you say that you work in a library. One of my nephews came to me and told me that they were literally burning some of these books here in Texas, even.
The article. There was an article in the Wall Street Journal about that. The problem is, banning. I mean, there's banning and there's burning. It cuts both ways. That even the books that we don't carry in our library, but we're not going to prevent people from publishing them. You can write whatever you want, but I don't have to read it.
Right.
See, that's my idea of banning. I can decide. I'm not a librarian, by the way. I'm just a library assistant. But academic librarians are also, I work as a freelance editor, and I have the same issues about inclusive language, inclusive content is appropriate. And my feeling is that you can write whatever your opinion, as long as it's not, libel. I don't have to read it. And that to me is what banning or censoring is what the left is trying to do to the conservatives. That just prevent us from even not just saying our opinions, but even writing or disseminating. Now, as far as working in a library, not even a library, I think it's a community. I think the problem in this country is we no longer have a national community, where everybody agrees or roughly, we have a shared culture. So some books might be acceptable in some schools, and other places no. I think that's up to the school board or the parents. That's the whole issue behind critical race theory. They can scream, well, freedom of speech, freedom of speech. Well, you can go ahead and peddle your theory, but I don't have to listen to it.
Right.
If I were a mother, I wouldn't want my kids. So, I the right to be judicious as far as deciding what's appropriate, what's not. And I know it's subjective.
Right. Well,
everything. Okay,
that's the whole. That's the whole point.
They're like,
yeah. That's the whole point. The government
Really?
actually is taking that choice of whether or not you want to listen to it or not away from you and all the other millions of people that might have made that choice as well, one way or the other. They're doing it for you. That's not what the First Amendment is about, and that's why we need to fight against that for sure. In fact, I don't know which celebrity it was. I think it was Matthew McConaughey, and I could be wrong about this, but he basically said, take a look at and find out which books they're banning and go out and read them immediately. Because that will tell you what they don't want you to know.
Exactly. I even feel like go out and buy a copy and store it. Because what we're doing right now, we're getting rid of a lot of books. Libraries always call the collection to get at books that are old or bad condition, outdated. But some of them are going to be considered racist, misogynist, stereotype. That's all in the eye of the beholder. And you start getting rid of everything. And we're migrating a lot of books that, if they're available on the web, the Internet Archive, that we're getting rid of them. And I'm thinking, I'm not the one making the decision. And I understand we want to renovate the library and create space, but I'm worried about these books disappearing. If they go on the web, well, somebody over there can simply pull out the plug, or they can just decide to remove, obliterate these books.
Right.
The same with DVD, movies. Streaming, the movies now are all so woke. I mean, I think they're going to try to get rid of a lot of films. Even like say Gone with the Wind. Okay, there was a hokey film. They'll say it was racist. I don't think that race was really the issue of God. It was central to it, but it was a film of its time. So what? But I would say I'd run out and buy a copy because I have a feeling that you're not going to be able to at some point you want to be able to stream it as keep the emergency supply of DVDs. Because all these works are going to disappear. Everything is going to be in either. I just
this is about political warfare.
And I think the Moody Award goes to the liberals, and I think they're just so insidious. They're like you're very devious. And with the right, you're just saying it point blank. I don't want to read this book, and that's it. But there they'll try to slip it in some way. So I was concerned about that, and it's just very frightening. I think the arts right now, everything is under attack. I was busy watching these. I don't know if you heard of quartering and these people. How many of the apparently Lord of the Rings, Amazon's putting out their version, which sounds woke as hell, but this is the direction they're all heading. They're trying to bastardize our major works, and so I would say at some point run for cover. Anyway, I better get back to the salt mines here. I got to finish my work.
Yeah, don't get in trouble over me.
Yeah. It's worth it. Yeah. Okay. But anyway, it's thanks for listening to me.
Well, thank you for calling. Everyone, this is Hallie from YouTube. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. This was one of the issues, by the way, an example of my version of banning. I meant to tell you this. As I said, I work in the library. We have a juvenile collection. A bunch of like these white liberal yuppie types moved into my neighborhood, and on my way to work, I saw like somebody left, like they left a bunch of books there for people. They were done with their children's books for the taking. So I took a bunch of children's books, add them to our collection. So I took them and I looked at one book. It looked a little weird. I checked the inside the Library of Congress subject headings. It was about gay fathers. Now I happen to be against. I don't like that whole issue. I really don't like that agenda. And I literally threw the book in the trash. So I'm just saying, some people, these words, I'm not going to prevent the person from writing about it. If he wants, I don't want to read it. I'm not saying it wouldn't belong in our library. It's maybe a public library, maybe somewhere else.
Well, that's the best thing about the First Amendment. It works both ways. You can write anything you want, but I can not watch it if I don't want to. That kind of thing. So, yeah.
Yeah, I cannot watch it. I don't want, I don't think it belongs in our library. Probably the librarians would agree. Yeah. Anyway, listen, I'll let you go. And, okay. Okay, enjoy your show.
Thanks so much for calling, Hallie. I appreciate it. She's called every week. She's one of my regular callers, and I do appreciate her calling. And she's got some insights that some of us don't. As a librarian, I would venture to say she's got firsthand information on some of this stuff. She works at a college, as far as she tells us, and everything like that. So yeah, definitely keep in touch with us, Hallie. Appreciate you calling. The number to call, 409-877-1243. Don't be shy. The world wants to know what you have to say, so call me and tell them like it is. Chevy on YouTube says, Fauci, the reason God created the middle finger. Okay, I'm going to be considered a terrorist now because that's actually misinformation. Maybe it'll be you. I don't know. Actually, I've heard other things about the middle finger, but yeah, he's one of the ones that I'm always wanting to do that to, especially when he starts telling people, you need this, you need that. It's craziness. We've only been doing this for 2 years and people have already had 5 shots. That's amazing. That's amazing. You only get a flu shot once a year. I mean, what is going on? Let's see. American Inc. Music says, told Tucker that top owner of Spotify is also the top owner of Moderna. I have not looked that up, but worth looking into. My phone keeps freezing. Oh, I'm sorry about that, Blue. Wish there was more I could do. I'm having enough for myself. 451 Actual, you had said you wanted to say something earlier. And like I say, the number to call, 409-877-1243. Here's the link that American Inc. Music just posted on Tucker Carlson, bombshell from Malone.
Information warfare, full stop, and all of this chatter that many have bought into, that this is about culture wars or it's about vaccines. No, it's not. It's about power and money. It's about Spotify's market cap dropping.
Indeed.
So fascinating point is that the major owner of Spotify, the top owner of Spotify, is also the top owner of Moderna. Yes. Okay. So,
wow! Look at Tucker's face.
We have to kind of get out of the frame of reference that's being pitched to us, that this is about culture wars, because it's about way more than culture wars. It's about power and money, and culture wars is a nice, easy way to divide us against ourselves.
Right.
Yeah, the culture wars are actually what they're using in order to get this power and money that they're getting, and more and more and more. What was it that they said that was over $3 trillion that was transferred from those of us like you and me, the normies, the regular people, to these people that own everything? And they're not going to be happy until they own everything at all. The only problem with that is everybody else is going to be gone. They're going to eliminate everybody else, and then there's going to be no tax base. There's going to be no way that they can get this money. What are they going to do then? What are they going to do then? Because not only are they killing off people's businesses, but they're killing off people. How do they expect to make anything work if there's nobody there to make it work? It almost reminds me of the fact that they're wanting to dim the sun. But at the same time, they're telling everybody that you need solar panels. How's that going to work? How is that going to work? Get the solar panels so that you can get all the energy from the sun that you can get, but we're going to dim that sun for you. Yeah. All right. Did I lose everybody to Loyal 9? See, I've got the chat out. I'm not looking at the actual page anymore, so I can't even tell if I'm on there anymore or not. Let's see. Live streaming. Okay, that one can go. All right. That's nuts. Good thing I have no use for either. Yeah, really. I only listen to Spotify so that I can actually pull up requests for a 451 Actual show. Anyway, back to what was in the drawers. These were, like I say, these are little sun catchers, or this is my combination of recycle art. Like I say, these are little bits and pieces of jewelry and stuff that were broken from eons ago. A lot of this, in fact, a lot of these here were from the 30s, 40s, and 50s. That's a little porcelain flower from England back in the 50s. I do clay work occasionally. This is my iron broken and mended heart, or Frankenstein heart with roses. Like I say, I'll take 20 for any of the acrylic pendants. Like I say, they can make good necklaces. They can make good fan pulls. They can make good sun catchers. All right, here's another batch. It's like I got a lot of stuff in here. I used to do a lot of work on this. This is what I did. I was a recycle artist. I was on Etsy. Now I'm trying to liquidate all of this stuff because I would much rather create videos and conversations. Like I say, the art was a calling until the internet came along, I guess, or until all of this stuff came along, until all this censorship started coming along. So I still enjoy doing my artwork, and again, any of the pendants, I'll take 20 for. That includes shipping. If you got a Goyle friend. This was really, really, really popular for a while. Tree of Life. So I took a bunch of recycled stuff, including the heart was a pendant, I think, or something. I don't know what it was, because it was just there was no thing on it to hang on it. That's the reason why I had to wire wrap it and do all of this stuff. But the Tree of Life, I'll take 15 for that. And this is just one of my... In fact, if I'm not mistaken, I remember this was part of my tuxedo series. Black and white with rhinestones and all of that. Statement pieces. And again, you can use them as fan pulls. You can use them as keychains and whatever you want to do. These were statement necklace pieces. But again, you can be as creative as I was. What else do we have in these drawers? Uh-oh. I have some of the bones of my enemies. Not really. Just little plastic skulls that I bought for somebody, and I don't even know why. A lot of them came apart. These are just cool. Like Hobby Lobby bought, or Michael's or whatever like that. The bones of my enemies. Actually, I thought here's Here's a spine. Maybe I should send this to Trudeau, huh? Let's see, what else do I have here? That's supplies. I don't want to show you that. Let's see. Actually, I saw, I think it was Frank, Let's Be Frank, mentioning something about his salty sticker in the background. Mine's been in the background for a long time. Nobody's noticed it. Ah, yes. Trinket bowls. Actually, reproductions of a vintage bowl. A little vintage jewelry bowl or keepsake trinket bowl or whatever like that. The top broke. And the bottom was really neat, so I molded it and reproduced it. I'll take 10 for these if you have a, like I say again, if you have a girlfriend. In fact, trinket dishes are really in right now, and you can use them for more than just trinkets. I'm not going to say, though. What is this? Oh, another trinket dish. I got another version of a trinket dish. You can use it for a stash box. In fact, this one I think has a lid somewhere. That's not it. Alright, what else? That's empty. Oh yeah, now these are actually true sun catchers. Pretty cool, huh? Trudeau needs a spin. Trudeau needs to be voted out. I can't believe you guys voted him back. Canada voted him back in there after the things that he did, especially the blackface. Come on. And he didn't do it. He did it more than once. You know, I could see one time, oh yeah, I didn't know anything. He did it, what, 4 or 5 times? But that's what happens when you get these people that think they're untouchable. In fact, if I'm correct in remembering this, he didn't ever even apologize for any of those times. Or if he did, it was so lame that it was like, wah, wah, wah. So, again, I got tons of these. Woo! Now, somebody had asked me before, did I ever do craft shows and stuff like that? And the answer is yes, because look at all this inventory. In fact, I have about 40 more of these in the drawer. I'm not going to pull them all out. But got Mardi Gras. Oops. Got Mardi Gras ones. And these are just cool sun catchers. Like, you can use them for, like, stained glass type thing, whatever like that. Like I say, I got... A lot of people buy these and put them on their Christmas trees. Or they hang them in their windows. And again, I actually can do just about any kind of thing you want. These are actually leftover plastic with dollar store tattoos. And some of them are just printed transparencies that actually nobody has anymore. Like I say, I recycle just about everything if I can. That was my mantra. In fact, at one point in one of my, this is an experience I'll never forget. I had a business administration student. I think she was getting ready to graduate. And she saw me at one of my festivals and she says, oh, this is a great idea. She loved the recycling. Of course, the young kids were all into the recycling and making sure that everything gets reused, etc. and etc. And she asked me, she says, you do all this recycling and everything like that. She says, well, what happens if you break one of them? Or what happens if one of them gets damaged? I said, well, since I'm a recycle artist, I probably would just reuse it in something else or refurbish it or redo it. And she's like, oh, right. Yeah. In fact, I'm not positive about this, but I think she wrote her dissertation about me because she asked a lot of questions, but that was awesome. Oh, that's okay, Hallie. Hallie says, sorry, while we spoke, I meant to compliment you on your talent. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. It was, like I say, it was actually one of the... Oh, you can't see the salty? The salty... Just see a white blur? I'm sorry. Another reason why I need to upgrade my stuff. Because if that's that blurry, because it's not that far away from me. And it's not that far away from the camera either. Am I blurry? Let's see. Can't see that. I'm sorry. All right. Did you see it that time? Yes, I appreciate that. Okay. Another thing, like I say, don't forget, call in 409-877-1243. As soon as I can get this stuff upgraded, you can still Skype me, but I'm not going to be able to pull up the video. I'm actually surprised. But this is what happens. I can actually go for days and days and days and not a problem. And then it was a fluke, I guess. 15 minutes before I was supposed to start the show last week, it just started crashing all over the place. It didn't even, no rhyme, no reason. But again, it's probably, again, because of my video card. It's holding out right now, but let's see. Do I have anything else back here that is of interest? No. Oh, here. Here's something that might bring back memories. I don't know where this came from, but it's all leather, and it's vintage. A cigarette case. Does anybody even use those anymore? But it looks like it's made out of some kind of either alligator or... So I've been trying to sell this as vintage stuff, and actually this will make a good stash box for all of you legals out there now, where it's legal. And this is a kind of a cool wallet. It's a little stiff, but like I say, it's made out of some kind of leather all the way through. That's, in fact, I forgot that was in there. But yeah, it's a wallet cigarette set for a dude. In fact, it's even got a belt loop. Did guys used to carry their cigarettes on their belt loop? I don't remember that ever happening. But yeah, if you want to buy those too, it's cool. Never know what you can use that kind of stuff for. Oh, okay. It's your phone and your eyes. Okay. Yeah, the eye thing. That's one of the first things. Actually, the knees are actually the first thing to go when you start getting older, but the eyes are pretty quick afterwards. Thank you, sweetie. Oh, I have the bestest, baby. Time for coffee talk. Remember that? That was actually pretty funny. Mike Myers, I miss his comedy. I miss comedy, period. My theory about that stuff is comedy without laughter is just another lecture. All right. Don't be shy. Call in. And, who's tired of people like this? I don't care, really, but don't come at me with stuff like this. This is ridiculous.
This woman today was giving me a lot of pushback on our mask policy at work, even though it was clearly outlined to her when she stated that she wanted to dine in with us versus taking it to go. We're a coffee shop. It's not like you're eating food.
No, you're not eating anything. It's a coffee shop.
It's usually just like a couple bites or a sip.
That's not eating. Sorry about this.
After like the third or fourth time that I asked her to please put her mask back on for the safety of the other people around her and our team, she was like, it doesn't make sense. It's not sanitary. What if I get food down in there? I just don't even think people realize that service industry workers spend like anywhere from 6 to 12 and even 14 hours a day living in this mask. I have to eat all of my food and beverages that I eat in a day.
This is cute.
Doing this. Like, you can do it for 30 minutes. 30 minutes to stop fucking... Oh my God.
Who's sick of shit like this? Oh my God. Well, at least now you know a way to shut them up, kind of, or make them go. And it is ridiculous. And so what? You have to do it. That's your company's, policy. You work for a company that makes you do that. You don't have the right to make anybody else do that stuff. And she was in your store, and she was making sense. She wasn't giving you a hard time. It sounds to me like you were giving her a hard time. So, but you have to do it, so everybody else has to do it. Is that what you're saying here? Go ahead and, yeah. These are some of the people that think that life sucks so bad. Honey, it hasn't started to kick your ass yet. All right. And of course, this has been a topic of conversation for a while, since the 10th or the 9th. And this is Newsweek, so it's not, it's not like I'm using some false news source according to them. Why the Biden administration wants to hand out safe smoking kits. Now, I'm not even going to call it what everybody else is calling it. All right? Mainly because of the fact that I couldn't get past those two words. Safe smoking. Have you ever known any smoking to be safe? Any. All right. Now, I know some people are going to say, oh, yeah, it's cool to smoke weed and all this other stuff. Fine. It's fine. I don't have a problem with it. But they say it's good, but they also still say that it's carcinogenic. It's not that good. Smoking is not a safe thing to do. So I was going to say, and also, too, and of course, like I say, everybody else is calling it something else. It's calling it, like I say, I'm not even going to say it. You guys know the what they smoke out of these things, all right? They're going to provide grant funding to pay for the distribution of safe smoking kits as part of efforts to reduce harm from substance abuse over the next 3 years. Only 3? Is that one of those things where they're going to try it out and see what happens, and then if it doesn't work, they're going to throw more money at it and increase it and build it and make it an even bigger thing, like they usually do? Again, safe smoking. Leave it to the government to be the exact opposite of what it actually... Okay. The number of conservative news outlets reported that the administration would fund the distribution for drug users as a part of a push to advance racial equality. So there's a whole bunch of white people out there that won't give that up for the black people or the colored people, or the people of color, or whatever you want to call them. Is that what's happening? That doesn't sound right to me. So are only non-racial, I guess they call them, people, are those the only people that get the good stuff? So the government has to... Yeah, this is... Bruin Backhand. Welcome. That's the first time I've seen you on my YouTube channel. Says people have to stop giving their money to places that have rules like this. I agree. Of course, if they're in Portland or one of the blue states or something like that, hardly any way around it. In fact, they're just now starting to lift a lot of these things. And of course, it's coming, some of this stuff is coming because of what other countries are doing right now, especially Canada. And they also know that as an election year coming up, this stuff hasn't pleased the people. So they're trying to rush to do things now to please the people. Like, we're going to forget about the last 2 years. And the fact that as soon as we turn our backs, you're just going to do it again. So, actually, the one question that I have about this is, who's the contractor on this? Who is building these things for the government? Who's got the contract on this? There's literally a glass blower out there, or a glass blowing company out there, that has a government contract to do this so that they can distribute these things. And how are they going to do that? I guarantee another committee, another another department that they're going to have to hire a whole bunch more people for to make sure that these bureaucrats pass out these things to the correct people or the eligible people. Blue says, Little Bit Blue says, I work with one of those people, like the lady I just showed you this, has to eat like this. Oh my God. She smells like cat pee. Oh. Wait a minute, you're not social distancing? You get that close to her? Or is it that bad that when you can smell it even being that far away from her? Prowler says, no, Joe wants to ban smoking cigarettes but give out for illegal drugs. Oh, does he? I didn't hear about that. He wants to ban everything. Anything that actually could go against what his rule would be. But again, like I say, and of course, the reason why this was brought to my attention is because, in fact, I downloaded this and I might even do a critique on it, but I happened to catch Tim Pool talking about this, and he went he kind of blew his mind. He kind of went on a rant about it. Same thing as what Prowler just said with regards to, they're banning things like ivermectin and things like that help people and everything like that, but they're going to give out things that allow you to do these drugs that essentially kill you. In fact, have you ever seen that thing where she said, this is you and this is your life on meth or whatever it is like that? She takes this frying pan, she smacks all kinds of stuff around. This is your life and this is your family. And yeah, that stuff ruins your life. And the thing about it is they're doing it for racial equality, as if only white people do this stuff and get the good stuff. You see what I mean? And it's like, oh, well, we can't have that. Let's give all of this stuff now to all of the people of color and all of the people of other ethnicities, so that white people aren't the only people that have the good stuff doing this. It's like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So, oh, okay. Well, welcome, Bruin Backhand. I hope I'm reading that right. He says, they say, I usually listen, but I have some time to comment a bit for once. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. That actually brings up the algorithm. And on YouTube, I don't know what they're doing to me on YouTube. Like I say, unless I go on somebody's show or something else, I am not getting any organic anything on YouTube. So again, I appreciate you being here. Let's see. Prowler says, laughing my ass off, Blue. That's because the cat hates her so much it pisses on her stuff. Yeah, probably. Either that or she's got more than one or more than two. Boy, I've seen somewhere they got 40 in a room. I don't see how those cats aren't tearing each other apart. But then she walks in the place and they're with food and they're jumping all over each other. It was like, it was horrible. It was like a mob. I can't imagine that. Anyway, back to what I was talking about. Again, don't forget the phone number, 409-877-1243. The world wants to know what you have to say about some of these things. Now, Poole actually pulled up the Snopes article about this when they first started saying this was what was going on. And it says, did Biden admin fund pipes to advance racial equality? News reports in February 2022 grossly misrepresented the facts about a federal harm reduction program. This is by Dan McGull. I have no idea who that is. Claim. In early 2022, the Biden administration endeavored to advance racial equality by distributing pipes to drug users. Now, the rating on there originally was mostly false. And it was mostly false. And of course, you can watch Tim Pool's thing on this. He has the actual original on this. But it was originally claimed mostly false because they were also giving out other things in these kits, not just the pipes, okay, supposedly, or the safe smoking kits. That still blows my mind. So it says outdated, which actually to them means after a wave of grossly misleading news coverage in February 2022, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services stipulated that federal funding would not be used to include pipes in safe smoking kits as a part of a substance abuse harm reduction grant program. This newly stipulated detail was not originally available, meaning the assertions made in a first wave of coverage had become outdated. So everybody said that this was what was going to be in there. And of course, I'm pretty sure I saw some, I think it was, might have been Steven Crowder or somebody like that went today to the DHS or whatever it is for national health or whatever. And basically it gave the description of the safe smoking kit, and it mentioned a straight pipe of some time, or a glass straw, or a meth pipe, or a crack pipe. And it was like, so they're lying to us again. And of course with Snopes, so the original, like I say before, and of course it sounded exactly like doublespeak. It sounded exactly like doublespeak because they were saying, no, this is not true, but this is what is true. And it was exactly the same thing that they were saying was not true. And like I say, I watched Tim Pool lose his mind over it. He was really angry about it. And I think it's because of the fact that he realizes he comes from an area where this kind of thing was prevalent. He probably watched some of his family go down the wayside because of some of this stuff, and now the government is going to provide it for them. And of course, he mentioned something else. Now, I'm not sure how this works in Texas or any place for that matter. I don't know that much about that substance or how to do any of it. I'm not into that. But he mentioned something to the effect that this is actually another way to set up people of color. And what he meant by that was the fact that obviously that, except for in certain places, is illegal, including the paraphernalia. So the government hands this person that item, and then they get busted by the cops with that item, and they go to jail for having that item. So I think that's what actually blew his mind about this, is because of the fact that they're literally saying one thing when the other thing, when something actually that is to the contrary is happening, which is, they give these poor people this product to help them, and of course that's the 9 scariest words in the English language. I'm from the government and I'm here to help. But yeah, to help them, which actually is going to help them right back into the prison system. Yeah, you guys make a lot of sense, although Biden never has. In fact, it seems like a lot of people have forgotten the 1994 crime bill, in which Biden wrote and legislated and all that stuff himself. Which, what did it do? You remember, right? Incarcerated people of color. And actually unequally. But no, Biden's a great guy. He's great. He's fantastic. Of course, like I say, because of the fact now all of a sudden the Department of Health and Human Services says, oh, no, that's not what we're doing. Although that's, if you go to their website, that's exactly what's included in a safe smoking kit. And once again, I want to know, who has the government contract for that? What glassblowing company or whatever it is has the government contract for that? Because if you know anything about that, they're being way overpaid for it, of course. And I think that's hush money at the same time too. So, just my opinion. That's what I think about this stuff. However, I think it's despicable. I do think it's despicable. They should be using that money, that 53 million or whatever it is money, to help these people. Don't encourage them to keep doing this stuff, because it's ruining their lives. That's all. In fact, if you've known an addict, or if you've been an addict, you know that one thing right there is all that matters. Your family doesn't matter anymore. How you get your money for it doesn't matter anymore. People don't matter anymore. Nothing matters anymore except for that substance. And this is one of the things that, they say, oh, the crime and crime and crime. They commit crimes because they run out of money. They have to have money to get this stuff. That's all that matters. That's all that matters if you're addicted to this stuff. My tax dollars, since this is my tax dollars that is going towards it and everything like that, I want them to help these people. But letting them do this stuff out on the streets and having exposure, and then, making everybody else have to deal with these people as well while they're ruining things and pissing everywhere and shitting in the streets and acting a fool when they are high and everything like that, causing a danger. They're always screaming and yelling. Think of the children. Like I said, when they're on this stuff, nothing else matters. They'll steal from a child. They'll hurt a child. They don't care. All they want is that fix. Help these people. Because that's a problem. If you're focused on only one thing, because people are very multifaceted, but if you get focused on that one thing right there, the rest of your life is shit. It's just terrible. And our government is supposed to be going out there for our safety. I don't think, just because they call it a safe smoking kit, doesn't make it that. And actually, if you know anything about our history with the government, everything is backwards. I mean, hell, everything, the Department of the Interior takes care of all of the state parks and the exterior, all of the land and everything of the United States. They call a driveway, someplace where you park your car, and a parkway where you drive your car. I mean, come on. Everything's the opposite. Everything's the opposite. Oh. So, let's see. Is there anything else? Like I say, this is my 10th show. I'm actually surprised more people haven't commented on this thing. Now, this is a display hand, and I think I got it from one of the craft stores, or I might have ordered it on eBay or something like that. But, I mean, what does that look like to you? But that's been back there. Everything that you see back there has been back there the whole time I've been doing this. Well, not exactly the whole time. Well, yeah, the whole time since I moved in here. If you look at some of my earlier work, I used a sheet to be my background because I didn't want you guys seeing the mess in my bedroom. Then I got then I had actually gotten some grid walls. In fact, I used those on a lot of my arts and crafts shows because, as you can tell, a lot of my stuff is hanging. So I would build those walls up around my booth, and just stuff would hang everywhere, and people would pick out what they want and buy it, whatever. So yeah, I used the grid walls and put the sheet on that, which actually gave it more of a professional look. And then, of course, once I got the monitors that my son gave me, I was able to move into my other office. And like I say, I'm actually liquidating all of the artwork out of here and making it all a computer studio or a creator studio or everything like that. So, all right, not many calls tonight. I know everybody was kind of leery because it was crashing my system, but everything's so fine so far. And I'll take a few more phone calls before the end of the night. I really want to hear what a lot of people have to say. In fact, 451 Actual told me he was going to call me and give me and give the world a piece of his mind about this censorship thing from the National Terrorism Advisory. Because they literally are naming... They're literally naming everybody a terrorist because, human nature, even if it's accidentally, everybody lies. And everybody will say something that they don't know a whole lot about, but they give an opinion anyway. So, I mean, not to mention the fact that the way that they have this worded is ambiguous enough to where that they can point a finger at you and say, okay, that's misinformation. We've deemed that misinformation. You're in trouble now. And there's not going to be any recourse. You're not going to be able to say, well, I didn't know about that. And of course, they tell you that ignorance of the law is not an excuse, so you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. Essentially, they just want you to keep your mouth shut about not liking the government. And this is actually something to do with the fact that the same reason why they took away the downvote on YouTube. I'm wondering how many bad decisions are being made because nobody knows how badly the some things have been downvoted. But again, they've taken away your choice of whether or not you want to watch these things or not, based on what they know already. It's ridiculous. And we can't accept it. We just can't accept it. That's one of the reasons why I started this show. That's one of the reasons why I take it as badges of honor when they actually do try to censor me. And I'm not that big. I'm really not that big. I might have 600 followers completely. And actually, I'm thinking some of them are overlaps. Because I tell everybody on YouTube to follow me on the alts because of what YouTube has been doing. So like I say, Rumble, because of the cost of it and everything like that, is actually my backup. I upload everything to that if you want to find it in case I disappear everywhere else. Unless I can start doing better monetarily, I can't really do any live feed on there. It costs $25 a month minimum. And that's if you want to get the minimum feed, which probably is the one that they give you so that you'll actually spend more money to get a better feed. Don't get me wrong, love Rumble, but they're still a business. You got to think that way. BitChute is okay. There's a lot of trolls on BitChute, though, which is fine. Like I say, you are entitled to say whatever you want to say, but I'm also entitled to say whatever I want to say back or to tell you to go fuck yourself. You know, you don't have to put up with my shit if you don't want to, and I don't have to put up with your shit if you don't want to. If I don't want to. All right. Let's see. Yeah, the chat has quieted down and everything too. Are you guys tired of listening to me? Or you're probably over at Loyal 9. Like I say, I wish I could get him to call me. We could go live together. That'd be awesome. Because we are all actually saying the same things when it comes right down to it. Give me liberty or give me death. I've been around too long. I'm too old to start learning new stuff now, especially stuff that just doesn't make sense, that's not in reality. You don't get anywhere living in La La Land. And if you do, well, it's one of those things, and they call them cliches for a reason, but the bigger you are, the harder you fall. So I'm just glad that Joe Rogan isn't canceled, but it sounds to me like at any moment he could be, just because of the fact that we know who owns him now. So, Joe, you turned down Rumble's request, or you turned down Rumble's offer, but keep it in the back of your mind, bud. Oh, I see. Everybody's lurking. You are listening to me. I'm actually the background noise of whatever ass you're kicking tonight. Okay, that's great. As 451 Actual puts it. Which reminds me, make sure that you're following a lot of these people also as stuff like Loyal 9, Wage War, Advocate Coke, Salty Cracker, of course. Of course, he doesn't need my advertisements. He's doing well enough on his own, but again, I watch him regularly. In fact, I didn't know about him when I first started doing this. He was actually my inspiration to start trying really hard to work harder to try to go live and do more live stuff, and wanting to eventually develop into this call-in talk show. Bruin Backhand says, lots of people like La La Land, unfortunately. Yeah, that is unfortunate. The problem, though, is they get so entitled. They think that everyone else owes them everything. And they screech when people just go, no, nobody owes you anything. Nobody's going to give you anything. Like I say, they're all like, oh, well, I have to do it. That means everybody else has to do it too. No. You are you. Whatever it is you do, whatever it is you choose to do, whatever it is you have to do is you. Nobody else needs to be there for you. In fact, you're born alone and you die alone. Okay? So, you're all about you. You should be all about you. The minute you start complaining about somebody else or start bossing somebody else around, that means you think that you're better than everyone else and that you hold some kind of high ground somewhere. And I'm sure, I guarantee you, that you don't. Especially for your intolerance. In fact, you could even be loving to that lady and tell her something, but you were giving her a hard time. And then you expected her to be respectful to you. It doesn't work that way. It never has worked that way. And if people do respect you in that way, they're not very respectful themselves. Once again, my opinion, and of course, that's based on some of my experiences too. Being a person that's been doing live music for 25 years, you get some fucked up comments sometimes. But hey, you got to take the bad with the good, and you can't let it bother you. A lot of times you can't let it bother you because that person is all about them. It's usually more of a reflection on the person they're going yeah than it is that they're going yeah too. That's why most of the time, in fact, what was it? Somebody said that the middle finger was developed for Fauci. Actually, the middle finger was developed for anybody that wants to get in your business that doesn't belong there. And I've been watching this stuff happening now for the last at least 15 years now, where they've started in with the little niche here and a little niche there. Oh, you're racist. This is racist. That's racist. Now, all of a sudden, everybody's racist. Everything is racist. You can't do anything without government approval. All this. No. In fact, after the first year of it, I was like, no, fuck you. You're not telling me what to do. So, of course, I've never had the problem. And I've just like I say, I was talking about this being my calling. This was my calling because I did start seeing more and more and more people that were just literally getting in people's business, getting up in people's grill, because they thought that they knew more or had more information or were more righteous than this person that they had no clue. They've never seen them before in their lives. Probably would never ever see them again. How dare you? What? Who died and left you in charge of this stuff? This is, and I've done several videos about this kind of stuff too. Like the guy that was pointing his finger at the lady in the Target after following her around for 10 minutes. The first part of that should have stopped almost immediately. A guy following a chick around a store like that? I don't care what his reasoning was. That is harassment. And it could be construed as sexual harassment. I don't care how he identifies either. But I had a problem with the guy following her around to begin with. That is creepy. Okay? But then for him to start pointing at her and telling all the rest of the store that we need to shame her because she doesn't have her mask on. My first question, if I would have been there, my first question to this guy would have been, who died and left you in charge? Well, it's a law. Okay, again, who died and left you in charge of enforcing that law? Then when she called him an idiot, I thought, oh, great. Oh, you're going to insult me now? It's like, I'm going to do any fucking thing I can to get you out of my face right now. You are violating my space. You are violating my rights. You are violating me. You have a zero right to be enforcing any laws and then to go around and start telling everybody else. He literally at that point was inciting a crowd against her. She could have, and I at that point would have feared for my life. What if those people, the women that were in that store, would have gone the other way against her? You know, it could have gone the other way. It really could have. Now, I'm glad that they stood up for this woman. But at the same time, this guy had no business. No business. He was telling her what to do, and then when people started gathering around, he started telling them what to do too. How about no? How about mind your own business? All right? Then you got these idiots that go out there, and again, You can do whatever you want. All right? I don't care. Fly your freak flag. Okay? Dress up any way you want to dress up. But don't go around asking people to guess what you think you might be or what they think you might be. Because you literally are setting them up to fail on purpose. All right? So you give them a reason to fail and then you're all over them. No. I'm sorry. It doesn't work that way. You shouldn't have the right to take... This person wanted to take these people's jobs because they misgendered him or her or whatever it was. But at the same time, you watch the video, and throughout the whole video, they try to make everybody guess what the hell they are. And I'm thinking, if you're that secure in what you want to be, that you'll go out and dress like this, and be this way and everything, profess what you are. Stand behind it. Don't make people guess. Because you right there are already trying to give them something to where you can jump on them and start complaining and start ying at them. If you're not that secure in what you're doing, then that's your problem. But don't be going out here and trying to make people guess. And that's the thing. The whole crux of that video, that particular video, this happened in a Sonic in Texas. But the whole crux of that video was this guy, girl, whatever, was going around trying to make people guess what they were. And the thing was he was making, he set him up for failure to begin with, even because of the fact that his dead name, as they call it, was still on his credit cards and stuff. And then he gets on there and says, oh, my passing has to do everything with whether or not I'm safe. No, it doesn't. Nobody beat you up. Nobody pulled you out of your car and told you were an idiot. Nobody accosted you at all. They made a mistake based on your own bullshit. Okay? And then you went around and trying to get everybody to guess what you were. No. Salty was your red pill? Oh. Yeah, he was, didn't he? He started out somewhat or another saying he voted for Obama and that Obama let him down and all of that. And then he started actually looking into things. And of course, I think a lot of it had to do with where he lives. That's like... That's literally like somewhat of the Soviet Union, if you ask me, as far as that goes, because you got your governor over there who was put in there through nepotism. A lot of people will say, oh, no. Yeah, through nepotism, because his auntie was some kind of mucky-muck there before she became Speaker of the House. So, yeah, nepotism. But on top of that, he makes all these decrees and isn't willing to follow them himself. That causes dissension. It really does. You can't go out and expect people to be doing this stuff when you're not willing to do it yourself. So I would venture to say that was part of it. I don't get a chance to listen to absolutely everything Salty says. Of course, because I'm working on my own stuff here too. Again, he was my inspiration for trying to go live or making sure they go live. But yeah, you're right, Bruin Backhand. When they try to make you guess, they're looking for a problem. They're looking for a reason to at you. They're looking for that attention. And they don't deserve it. Once again, if you're not going to be firm in your own self as to where you're not bothering other people about it, then that's your problem. And it doesn't have anything to do with your safety. It has to do with, like I say, at the end of the video, they said that passing made a difference in whether or not they were safe. No. Passing made a difference in whether or not they were going to call you by the pronoun that you want to be called by. Okay? There's a big difference. Like I said before, nobody beat you up. Nobody ridiculed you. Nobody told you that you were an asshole. Nobody started making you promise all this bullshit. That was another thing, too. It's like, I want you to promise me that you're going to treat LGBTQ and trans people better. Okay, are you going to police that? You gonna sit there and make sure that that's what happens? Yeah, man, I promise. Get the fuck out of here. I'm tired of being lectured. I live my life and I leave people alone for the most part. Unless they mess with me. And most people know better than that. But yeah, I have never oppressed anyone. I don't call people names if I can help it. Unless you just absolutely are an idiot. And, you know, and I was going to say, it takes a lot to piss me off. I'm a very patient person. But I'm not going to stand here and listen to some 20-year-old that hasn't had life kick their ass yet. They know nothing. I knew nothing at that age. Actually, gotta be honest with you. I knew more at that age than they know at that age right now. I actually was already a manager at a phone company and had my own apartment, had my own car, had everything. I didn't depend on my parents for anything at that age. They wouldn't let me. But yeah, I knew more, and I was still pretty stupid at 20. Did stupid things at 20. Nothing like this, though. And I never, ever even thought to get in anybody's face and tell them anything. I don't care if they were breaking the law or not. Now, if I saw something else, I didn't get involved with it. I wouldn't say anything to them. I called the cops. But most of the time, yeah, you don't have the right to be getting in people's faces like this. And I think it was Mike Tyson that said that the internet is harmful because it's actually given people the idea that it's okay to disrespect people and not get punched in the mouth for it. Because that's what used to happen to me and anybody else in my generation back then. You say the wrong thing to the wrong person. Like if you actually literally go up to somebody and call them the N-word, they would punch you in the face. And guess what? You don't do that anymore. But now it's cancel everything and anything, you know, and they moved on. People aren't forever. People's ideas aren't forever. You know, they say the science changes, everything changes. You have to go with the flow a lot of times. All right. Oh, Little Blue is leaving me. Oh, I can see why. I'm going over. Listen to me ranting and raving over here about all of this. Well, it's 9 o'clock and we've been on here. I'm not getting any more phone calls and I've pretty much run out of things to say. You saw pretty much what was in the drawers. If you go back through and you see anything that you like, contact me. Like I say, I am raising funds. I'm not trying to beg for money. Of course I will. But I'm trying to actually raise funds. Not only am I liquidating my last business by that, but I'm also trying to upgrade this. Another thing that I'm actually hoping to do along with the call-in talk show is to have my husband be my co-host. He's actually very profound on some of these things, and believe it or not, he's a lot quicker at some of this stuff, especially with the improv and stuff like that. I got to have the improv and all that, but like I say, the goal is to grow. And it's mainly to grow so that I can have more people calling in and getting their voices out there, because that's what's important. The more that they push on us, the more we have to push back, because they're not going to just give us our rights. And they never did just give us our rights. We have to fight for them. We have to take them. We have to make sure that we're on it, because that's actually their job in the Constitution and everything like that. But as you can tell, and as you noticed, they're not doing it. But again, it's all about the individuality, and it's all about, you have to do it. You can't just let them take it from you. And I'm not about to, and I'm also hoping that I help you to get your voices out there too, because I know that not everybody can be a creator, not everybody can do all of this stuff, and of course I want to do this. It does take a lot of time, and I'm finding out it's going to take a lot of money too. So well, not like Tim Pool or anything like that, but we all got to start somewhere, and I did, and my goal is to continue to grow. But it's to continue to grow so that you guys can tell the world what you heard, because it's extremely important, even from the smallest mouths. It's extremely important. That's what our country is founded on, and that's how you solve problems without the 2A. It's like he said, 1A is first for a reason, and when 1A doesn't work, there's always 2A, and that's what it's there for. Make sure you tune in. I'm going to have my regular Saturday video. It is actually going to be about 2A. And of course, like I say, if you go back through and you see anything that you're interested in, or I can make custom orders too. They're going to be a little bit more expensive than what I was talking about here, but you know, custom order. I can customize things for you, put names on them, anything that you want. I even will reproduce something for you if you've got a flat surface to it. Two-part molds are beyond me still. I'm still perfecting them. I wouldn't want to mess up your creations or whatever like that. So I hope you guys had a great night. I had a great night. I appreciate it. Thank you for the tips. If I got any tips, I know I got some library coin over here on Odysee. MBB, yes, thank you so very much. And again, every Thursday night, make sure you share this with your friends. Give us a like and subscribe. Comment. Share. Share. And of course, a donation would be the ultimate. Let me know if you saw something that you like when you make a donation or whatever like that. And give me your address and I'll make sure to get it out to you. I appreciate everybody being here tonight. And I do hope to see you next Thursday. Don't forget, Thursdays, 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and 5 o'clock Avocado Time. So, all you salty berserkers out there, thank you so much for being here with me. Thank you for the phone calls. Make sure to go check out American Ink Music. Their music does rock out loud, and it is patriotic. That's what we need. Us patriots need to stick together. So, thanks again for being here. We'll see you next week, and until next time...